All right, folks, good evening. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining in over here for this session over here. And this is the part C in this series of PYQ that we have been doing since long, right? And the time has come for you to prepare for CDS 2026 1 now. Okay, I was pretty busy for the last 2-3 weeks, so I could not take your live classes. So let's get cracking, and we will ensure that we don't miss these live classes of yours from now on. Okay, at least every Sunday 10 o'clock 10:30 we will meet and get cracking, right? So question number 51, if you want to see question number 1 to 50, check the playlist in the same series, and you will get there. Okay, yeah, so now today we are going to do from question number 51 to 75, right? Okay, and then in the next week we'll finish off from 76 to 100. So question number 51 says two trains X and Y are traveling in the same direction. Okay, right? So two trains are there, X and Y, and they are traveling in the same direction at the speed of 100 kmph and 60 kmph respectively, right? Okay, train X crosses a man in train Y. Okay, train X crosses a man in train Y. So a man will be somewhere over here in the train Y, isn't it? Okay, in 9 seconds. So what is the length of the train X is what they are saying over here, right? Okay, since they are traveling in the same direction, the effective speed by which the train X is overtaking the train Y is how much? 100 minus 60, which is 40 kmph, right? Okay, and now since this time over here they have given in seconds, how do we turn that into meter per second? Why? Because we need to have a consistency with the units as well. So we do 5 by 18 over here, which means 200 by 18 meter per second, right? Okay, so basically over here at the speed of 200 by 18 meter per second, it takes 9 seconds to cross the man in the train Y. Okay, so if this is your train Y over here with the man being over here, at this particular point when the tip of train X is just aligning the man in train Y, at that particular point we will say that the train has started crossing. Okay, when the train has come over here, the tail of train X has come over here, right? When the tail of train X aligns with the man in the train Y, at that particular point we will say that the train has crossed the person who is in train Y, right? So we don't have to worry about the length of the train Y, right? Okay, and we can only find the length of the train X alone. Okay, so you know distance is equal to speed into time, right? So over here distance is how much? We don't know. This is what we have to find. Distance is basically going to be the length of your train X over here, right? So speed over here is 200 by 18 and time is how much? 9. We have all the consistency of the unit, so you can simply cut like this and 100. So 100 meter is going to be the answer to this particular question, which is question number 51, right? Now question number 52, two persons X and Y leave the place P for place Q. We'll try to be a bit fast because this examination, it wants you to do 100 questions in 2 hours, right? Okay, that means 120 minutes for 100 questions. So we need to match the required speed for your examination, right? Okay, so I'll have to be fast consequently, isn't it? Two persons X and Y leave the place P for Q, right? Okay, so there are leave the place for Q. So if this is your point P, this is your point Q. Okay, both the person X is also leaving in this direction and Y is also leaving in this direction. Okay, but X is leaving at 7 a.m., right? At 7 a.m. and Y is leaving at 7:10 a.m., right? This is what we have respectively along the same path. X walk at the speed of 4.8 kmph and Y walks at the speed of 6 kmph, right? Okay, after how many kilometers, right? After how many kilometers from place P will X meet Y is your question. Okay, right? After how many kilometers X will meet from the place P will X meet Y is your question, right? Okay. Clearly, X has started walking first, right? And X has walked for 10 minutes extra than Y. Okay. So basically, X walk at the speed of 4.8 kmph, 4.8 kilometers in 60 minutes. So in 10 minutes, it will travel how much? Divided by 6. Okay. So which means 0.8 kilometers has been already traveled by 0.8 kilometers has already been traveled by X, right? So basically when Y starts at 7:10 a.m., he or she whatsoever, okay, will have to cover up this particular distance of 0.8 kilometers. Okay, now both of them are traveling in the same direction, so which means the effective speed by which they will be meeting each other is going to be 6 minus 4.8, which is going to be 1.2 kmph, right? Okay, right? So now at 7:10, right, from 7:10, right? Okay, at 7:10, how much time it will take for X and Y to meet, right? So after 7:10, right? So time is equal to distance by speed. The closing distance required over is 0.8 kilometer and the speed required is 1.2 kmph, right? Which is your 2 and 3. 2 by 3 hours is nothing but 40 minutes. Okay, right? So basically after 7:10, it has traveled to how much? It has traveled to 40 minutes. Okay, after 7:10. So basically X has traveled in total 40 plus 10 for 50 minutes. Okay, right? And X walks at the speed of 4.8 kmph. So 4.8 into 50 minutes means 5 by 6. Okay, right? This will go 0.8 times 0.8 into 5 will be 4 kilometer. Over here is going to be your answer. Okay, I hope you guys understand. Okay, simple, basic. Only thing that you have to remember in time, speed, distance is equal to speed into time. Rest all others are over here your complete logical reasoning, folks. Okay, so this is what you guys have to keep in mind. Okay, right? Yeah, two of you are here. Who are those two of you? Alvin, good evening. Jai Hind. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so there are two employees X and Y, right? Hold on one moment. There are two employees X and Y. Yeah. छोड़ दो, leave it, let it go now. Closed it. Just like that, closed it. We'll do it later. No worries, we'll do it next week. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I was just having some important stuff over here lined up. Okay. Yep. So let's get cracking with that. There are two employees X and Y. X salary is first increased by 12%, right? Okay, and then it decreases by 10%, right? Okay, X salary first increases by 10%, right? So I'm saying in the beginning the X salary is X. Okay, first it increases by 12%, means now the salary will be how much? into 1.12, right? Isn't it? Into 1.12. And then it decreases by 10%, which means a multiplying factor will be 0.9 over here, isn't it? And then it is saying that y salary over here, right? It first increases by how much, right? Okay, it first increases by 10%, right? So it is 1.1 and then it decreases by 12%, which means 0.88, right? if their salaries at present are equal, which means this particular value is equal to 1, right? Then what was the ratio of initial salary, right, of x to the initial salary of y? I'm saying initial salary of x and y are like this particular number. Okay, right? So what I will do over here is that okay, so initial salary of x comma y will be 1.1 into 0.88 divided by 1.12 into 0.9. This is what we are going to have. This one gone, this one gone, this one gone, this one gone. Now what we are left with, right? This is your 44, this is your 56. Okay, right? This is your 22, this is your 28. This is your 14, this is 11. Okay, which means how much? 121 divided by 126. We have option number C over here is the answer to this particular question, folks. Okay, 53 done, 3 down already. Okay, now this is an interesting question. 54, in a village consisting of p person, x percent can read and write. Okay, of the males only y percent can read and write. Okay, and of the females only z percent can read and write. If x, y both are, x and y both are greater than z, then what is the number of males in the village? Okay, I'm saying p, which means the total number of people in the village is 100. Okay, can I say that? Yes, absolutely we can say that. It's our choice what to choose. Okay, and now it's always your choice to work with the variables, but I'm not a very big fan of working with variables. Okay, I always break it down to the constants and it is very easy for me to solve it using that way, right? And x percent means, I'm saying that x percent means, that means the total literacy of the village is 80%, right? Which means, right, which means total 80 people are literate over here, right? I mean read and write. Okay, and of the males, right? Okay, only y percent can read and write. Okay, now I'm saying over here in this particular space, right, males are 60%, right, and females are 40%, right, which means the number of males over here are 60 and the number of females over here are 40, right? And of the males y percent can read and write. Okay, and I'm saying y percent is equal to 60%, which means 60 of 60% means how much? 36. Okay, and z is, let's say, 40%, I'm saying. Okay, which means 40% of 40 is 60, right? Isn't it? Right, these are the female population which can read and write, male population which can read and write. Okay, and over here 80. Okay, right? Now you will realize over here that this number has gone on to a toss. Okay, right? Okay, right, because the total number of literate people is how much? 80. So we need to have 80 over there, right? Isn't it? Okay, so to get 80 over here, what we'll have to do, right? And we are saying there are 60 males and 40 females, right? 60 males and 40 females, right? Okay, so the total number of literate people are 80, right? 16 have gone already over there, right? Okay, then the number of remaining people are how much? 80 minus 16, right? 80 minus 16 is how much? Okay, 64, isn't it? Okay, so which means 64 people. Okay, Now that cannot be the case because the number of people itself are 60. Okay, right? So now what I will say over here, that I will change this number also. Okay, I will change this number as well over here, and maybe I can change this number as well. Okay, yeah, let's say I'm saying there are 80 males and 10 females, sorry, 20 females, right? Okay, right, so this is your 80 males and 20% females. This is what we can say over here, right? Okay, and now if I'm saying 80%, right, 80% of the males are literate, right? So which means 64 people are literate. Okay, now we need 16 more. Okay, so 16 will be how much? 80% of this particular number. No, we can't do that. Okay, right? So we will have to take some different number over here, right? Let's do that with 60-40 only. Let's check what happens. Okay, male are 60%, female are 40%, which means 60 male and 40 female, right? Okay, and if I'm saying over here 90%, okay, 90% of the males, right? 90%, okay, if not 90%, let's take total population over here, right? Okay, this total population value we will not work out with. Okay, so let's say I'm saying over here total population, which is your 80%, which means total out of 100, 80 people can read and write. Okay, right? Okay, now over here I'm saying 100% of the people, 100% of the male people can read and write. Okay, so from the female we need only 20. 50% of 20 will be how much? 50% of 40 will be how much? 20. So 50% of female can read and write. So what we can see over here, 60 male and 20 male read and write, total 80 read and write. Okay, right? And total population of the village, right, 100, out of which 80%, 80 can read and write, 100% of male can read and write, and 50% of the female could read and write. Okay, then they are asking what is the number of males in the village. Okay, so the number of males in the village is 60, right? And let's check option A over here says, P is 100 into X, right? P, right, into X minus Z. Okay, X is how much? 100. Okay, X minus Z. X minus Z will give you a negative number. So let's work out with this. Okay, Y minus Z, right? Y minus Z is 20 divided by X minus Z. Okay, X minus Z is 30. Okay, this number is also not working out. Okay, yeah, so P into X is how much? 80, right? 100 into X is 80% divided by Y means how much? 100%. Okay, so this is coming out to be 80. How much number do we need? We need to reach Y, which means we need to get the answer as 60, right? P is 100, Y is how much? 100%, and X value is how much? 80. Okay, so this will also not work out. This will 4 times, this will go 5 times, this one will go 25 times. So this is also not working out. Okay, let's check. Okay, let's check this one. Option number 1 over here. Okay, P is 100 into X minus Z. Okay, sorry, X minus Z. X minus Z is 30% divided by Y minus Z, which is your 50%, right? Percent gone on to a toss. This one gone on to a toss. 300 by 5, which is 60. Okay, this was the number that we were looking for. Okay, right? So yeah, the first option that we ignored, that itself was the answer. Okay, you can always do these questions with you know, assuming some with the usage of variables, but it only gets clumsy, folks. Okay, when you use the variables, it only gets clumsy, right? Now question number 55, X and Y are two alloys. Okay, X and Y are two alloys of copper and zinc. Okay, X and Y are two alloys of copper and zinc. Alloy X is prepared by mixing copper and zinc in the ratio of 5:4, right? Copper and zinc. And alloy Y is prepared by mixing copper and zinc in the ratio of 5:13. If equal quantities of X and Y are melted to form the third alloy Z, then what is the ratio of, right, Cu to zinc in Z? Okay. Now, if you look at it, this is 5, this is 13, the sum of this is 18, right? And this is 5, this is 4, the sum of this is 9, okay? So, which means we need two quantities of this, the 2 units of this. If you do the 2 units of X, which will be 10 and 8, right? Now, these are in the equal quantities, 18 here also, 18 here also, right? Now, if you mix these two to form Z, right, Cu and Zn, right, copper and zinc, there will be 15 parts of copper and over here 21 parts of zinc. What is the ratio over here? 5:7, folks. Okay. Question number 55, we go ahead with B as the answer to this particular question. Okay. Easy. Easy, right? Okay. Two students X and Y prepare for a test, right? Two students X and Y are preparing for the test, right? X scored 20 marks more than that of Y if the score of X is 75% of the sum of X plus Y. Okay. X is scoring X marks, Y is scoring Y marks, okay, into 0.75 is equal to how much? X. This is what it is saying. Then what is the ratio of X is to Y? Okay. If the ratio is 5:1, right? If the ratio is 5:1, in a way we can say 6, total 6 marks, total 5 marks, total 4 marks, total 5 marks. Okay. How much has been scored by, X over here? 5/6. 5/6. Is it equal to 75%? No. Okay. 4/5. Is it equal to 75%? No. Okay. 3/4. Is it equal to 75%? Yes. Okay. Right? So this is the answer. Okay. Right? Okay. That's it. That's it. This is the answer. Okay. So you have to be little bit smart in this, how to solve these questions. See, so you need to have a little bit of lateral thinking so as to get cracking with these questions, folks. Okay, let's just be very, very honest and blunt about this. Okay, so if one of the roots of the equation exceeds the other by 4, right? I'm saying one of the roots is alpha, another roots is x plus 4, isn't it? Right? And from this we can find out the sum of the roots. Sum of the roots, which means 2 alpha plus 4 is equal to minus b by a, right? Minus b by a is how much? 5p by 2, right? 5p by 2, right? This is your 5p by 2, right? Okay. And the product of the roots over here, x into x plus 4 is equal to c by a, right? C by a means 2p square by 2, isn't it? 2p square by 2, right? This is what we have over here, right? Now this 2 and this 2 will go on to a toss, right? So which means alpha square plus 4 alpha is equal to p square, right? Alpha square plus 4 alpha is equal to p square. This is what we have, right? Okay. And the sum of the roots is 2 alpha plus 4 is equal to 5p by 2. We want to know the value of p, so what we will be doing, we will be replacing alpha, isn't it? We will be replacing alpha, right? Isn't it? So over here alpha is equal to 5p by 2 minus 4. Okay, this is in fact 2 alpha, so it will come over here like this. Okay, So 5p by 4 minus 2. Okay. So the value of alpha is equal to 5p by 4 minus 2. Okay. Right. So 5p by 4 over here, and minus 2 whole square plus 4 into 5p by 4 minus 2, okay, is equal to p square. You can always find out a better way of doing this sum. Yes, absolutely yes. Okay, right? You can find out the sum of the roots. Then you can also say that what is the difference of the roots also you can find out, right? Okay, all that stuffs you can do, but now you have to patiently solve this one. Okay, solve for, right, 5p by 4 minus 2 whole square is 25p square by 16 plus 2 square is 4 minus, okay, minus 2 5p by 4 into 2, right? This is the whole square, right? Okay, plus 5 into 4 is 20p by 4, 20p by 4, and plus over here this is minus, right? This is minus 8 is equal to p square, right? Okay, 5 into 10, 10 into 2 is 20. So which means this one and this one will go on to a toss, and this one and this one will go on to a toss to give you minus 4, right? Okay, now if I have to solve for this, right, over here it is going to be 25p square minus 16p square by 16 is equal to 4, right? Isn't it? Which means 9p square is equal to 64, which means p is equal to 64 by 9 root under, which means 8 by 3 over here. You have only one answer, which is A is the correct answer. Okay, you have to be patiently solving this, and you can absolutely solve this kind of question in more than one way, and that is absolutely possible, right? So see, I mean, I rely on impromptu, whatever is coming in my mind right now. Okay, I did not prepare. Okay, if I had prepared beforehand, then I could have given you the better option, right? Okay, I mean, better way of solving the questions. But what I want you to realize is that the questions are not easy, I mean not tough, sorry. Okay, you have to go till the very end of it, specifically in your preparation phase. If you are not going till the very end of the preparation phase, you are being frightened with x, y, z, alpha, theta and all that, then it's a little bit challenging. Okay, so first of all, don't have fear. Okay, like, I mean, people have sent coding and all that. They have sent spaceships in the outside space and all that. Humans have gone on to moon and stuff. So I think this is just mathematics, right? Okay, just small stuff, right? Yeah, now this question, this is an installment type question. An amount of 10,000 is borrowed at 10% per annum on compound interest for 3 years, compounded annually and paid back in 3 equal annual installments during these years. What is the amount of each installment approximately? Now the keyword approximately holds the key for you. In the examination hall, you are supposed to do one thing to this question, that is to skip. Okay, right? So the installment, how do you find out the installment over here, right? Okay, so installment, each of the installment is given as principal amount, right, which is 10,000 divided by 1.1, right? How exactly this 1.1 came is 1 plus 10 by 100, right, plus 10,000 1 2 3 divided by 1.1 plus 10 by 100 square, right? There are 3 equal installments, right? Isn't it? So you will have to do it 3 times, right? Okay, plus 10,000 divided by 1 plus 10 by 100 cube, right? 1 2 3. This is what you have to do. Okay, or otherwise, if you want to write it in a more simplistic terms, you can write it installments is equal to 10k divided by 1.1 plus 10k divided by 10k divided by 1.1 square plus 10k divided by 1.1 cube, right? This is what is the answer, folks. Okay, now I'm not in a mood to do this calculation. Even in the examination hall, no matter how smart you are in calculation, you know where it is going to lead. Okay, right? And 1.1 whole square is 1.21. This is what we know, right? Okay, and this particular number 1.1 cube is equal to 1.331, isn't it? Right? This is what we know. And over here you can take 10k, right, or otherwise 10,000 common. 1 divided by 1.1 plus 1 divided by 1.21 plus 1 divided by 1.331, right? Now this calculation, I'll take the help of my dear calculator over here, right? Okay, let me search for it. Calculator, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, where is this calculator? I hope you can see my screen right in front of over here, right? All right. Okay, so what we were supposed to do, we were supposed to do 10,000, right? 10,000 into, right, 10,000 into bracket. Okay, then we have a bracket over here, 1 divided by, okay, let's open one more bracket. Okay, one more bracket, we'll open one more bracket. Okay, 1 divided by 1.1. okay, then one of the brackets closed, right? And then what we will be doing, plus, right, isn't it? Yeah, plus, then we'll open one more bracket, 1 divided by 1.21. okay, then we'll close this bracket, then we'll plus sign, then we'll open one more bracket, 1 divided by 1.331. this is what it was, and then we'll close both of this bracket, and then we'll press enter. Okay, 24,868. It's not there. Why is it not there? Okay, did we do any calculation error somewhere? Yeah. Okay, 3 equal installments. Okay, 1000 divided by 1 divided by 1.1. okay, 1 divided by 1.21, 1 divided by 1000 into this particular value plus, okay, let me do this calculation in my phone once, right? Okay, so I'll do this calculation in my phone once. Okay, so this is how much? 10,000 into, yeah, 1 divided by 1.1. okay, and we'll close this, plus 1 divided by 1.21, then we'll close this, plus 1 divided by 1.331. okay, then we'll close this, okay, yeah. So what we will do, we will instead 1 divided by 1.1, okay, then plus 1 divided by 1.21, okay, right? Did you do any calculation? 1 divided by 1.21, okay, right? And over here plus, okay, 1 divided by 1.331. okay, okay, so yeah, hold on for a moment. Yeah, okay, EMIs is equal to, there's a simple formula, okay, there's a simple formula X, generalizing this formula. If you have 3 installments, then I don't think so we have done any error, right? Okay, I don't think so we have done any error over here, right? Isn't it? So if you divide with a big number, it is going to reduce its value for sure, right? Isn't it? Okay, it's going to reduce the value. So now I'll just check for it. Hold on, because I don't see any error in this installment type of question, right? 1 plus r square I. Okay. Sorry. My bad. Okay. So the formula is like principal is equal to installment, whatever the installment is supposed to be, divided by 1 plus r by 100. Right now you need 3 installments, so installment is equal to over here 1 plus r by 100 whole square, and then 1 I divided by 1 plus r by 1000 whole cube. This is what it is. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, so what we will do, we will just simply change this entire whole stuff, right? And then we will say 10,000, right? 10,000, right? Yeah, that's what I mean, like something was amiss. 10,000 is equal to, now we will do this point, and over here we will write installment I. Okay, right? And what we will do, we will go back to the same word question over here, right? And yeah, what we are supposed to do at this particular point, we can't help it, we will have to do it again. Okay, right? So yeah, so 1 divided by 1.1 plus 1 divided by 1 divided by 1.21. This is that question that you have to skip. I think this question came in your AFCAT exam as well this time. Okay, installment time 1.331. Okay, right? So this is the number. Okay, so basically 2.4868. Okay, 2.4868, right? This is what the value is, 2.4868, right? So this particular value over here is 2.4868, which will go over here 2.4868, close to that number. So installment is equal to 10,000 divided by 2.4868. Okay, something like close to that. Okay, so now we'll put in 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 2.4868. So this is what, 421. Okay, so the answer over here is 58. C is the answer, folks, right? Okay, so that you have to keep in mind. Okay, and see, I'll be very honest and direct with you. We have been doing this particular question when I used to prepare for my CAT examination as well. Okay, right? So this particular question, you were supposed to do it. I mean, in my MBA we used to do this question. Okay, in my MBA we used to do this particular question, right? Okay, so how we used to do is like we used to use the Excel sheet to do this question. Okay, right? So now if you don't have calculator at least, so I would not even suggest you to do this question, folks. Okay, right? What is the solution of the inequalities, right? What is the solution of the inequalities? So now this kind of question, these questions are very sitter type of question. Okay, extremely easy sitter question is what you have over here, right? Okay, now you pick up one of these values, 4 and 6, right? Okay, so we'll pick up a value called 5. Okay, does 5 satisfy this equation, right? We'll check. 5 into 5, 25 plus 3 is 28, less than 5, 40. 40 minus 9 is how much? 40 minus 9 is how much? 31. Is 28 less than 31? Yes, that is correct. Okay, then 5 into 2 is 10. 10 plus 20 is 30, and over a 5 into 5 is how much? 5 into 5 is 25. 25 plus 2 is 27. Right? Okay. Which means 5 is there in your solution set. Okay. 5 is there in your solution set, isn't it? Okay. 5 is there in the solution set. Right? Okay. So maybe A could be the answer. Right? A could be the answer. But if you look at the answer options over here, 5 is not in your solution set. Okay. So which is not going to be the answer? 5 is not in the solution set. Right? Okay. Now if we take one of the values, x is equal to, right, less than 4. Right? What happens if we take x is equal to less than 4? Right? Okay. X is equal to less than 4. If we take, let's say, if I take x is equal to 2, right? If I take x is equal to 2, which means 5 into 2 is 10 plus 3 is 13, right? And 8 into 2 is 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. Okay. 16 minus 9 is 7. Okay. Right. What does it mean? What does it mean? Does it look like true? No, it doesn't look like a true thing. Right. Okay. So this is not your answer. The answer option 2 is not there in your solution set, which means this is not your answer. Okay. Or this is also definitely not your answer. So we know by this, we know that A is the answer. One thing is certain, right? Just for the sake of our own learning, we will also check what happens if we put, right? Now between 3 and 5 you have 4 also. What happens if we put 4 over here, right? 5 into 4 is 20 plus 3 is 23, and 8 into 4 is 32. 32 minus 9. Okay. 32 minus 9 is how much? 32 minus 9 is how much? Okay. 32, 22, 23. No. Okay. 32, 23 has to be less than 23. No, they are equal, right? So 59. A is the answer. For inequality questions, guys, do it with the help of the options. Okay. For the inequality questions, you ought to do with the options, right? Okay. You will do it quickly. Okay. And the previous question, just I said that you are supposed to skip. Okay. A shopkeeper gives 3 consecutive discount of 10%, 20% and 25%, and after which he sells at a profit of 8% of the cost price. I'm saying the cost price is 100 rupees. Eventually it is being sold at 108 rupees, isn't it? Okay. You don't know what is the marked price, right? You don't know what is the marked price, how much profit he would have got. Okay. Had he sold the article after the first discount, like after he gave 10% of discount, then he had sold it. That is the question. I don't know what is the marked price. So I'm saying marked price is equal to X. If he gives 10% of discount, I have taught you what do you mean by multiplying factor. How much money is remaining? 0.9. Okay. Right. Then if he gives another 20% discount, which means how much is the multiplying factor? 0.8. Right. Into. Right. If he again gives 25% of the discount, the multiplying factor is 0.75. Okay. Right. So after doing all of this, this particular value is equal to 108, isn't it? Right. 108, right? So this is how much? 9 by 10, 8 by 10. This one goes 3 times, this one goes 4 times. Okay. Right. Okay. So now this one will go 3 into 3, right? And 6 times, 9 into 4 times, 4 2 times, right? Did we do any error or something? 2, right? So which means the marked price was 200, right? Over here the remaining numbers are 10, 10 and 2, right? It will go above, right? Isn't it? So marked price was 200, right? Okay, isn't it? Okay. Then only first you gave the discount of 10%. When you gave the discount of 10%, it came down to 180. When you gave minus 20%, which means 36, if you do minus 140 minus 40 is 140, 180 minus 40 is 140, 144. And then again you do minus 25% means 72 minus 36, which is 108, right? Right? So which means marked price is 200 for sure, right? Isn't it? Now, had he sold the article after the first discount, if he had sold, he would have sold it for 180 rupees. Okay. How much of profit he would have got? Okay. He'd have got 80% of profit. None of the answers are 80%. So we will boldly tick D. Don't feel bad about ticking none of these. Okay. Right. Mathematically, it is proven over here that D is the correct answer, right? 80%. We don't have such an answer. You can't help it. Okay, right? Now let's move on to this particular one. AD is the altitude of a triangle ABC, right? Okay, AD is the altitude of the triangle ABC. If AB plus AC is equal to P, AB minus AC is equal to Q, right? And BC minus CD is equal to R. What is the value of BC, right? Okay, it is saying AD is the altitude. Okay, right? Now, if is it given anywhere that you should only imagine scalene triangle, right? All the three, sides are different. No, they haven't said anything, no? Okay, can I assume something like a right angle triangle only, right? It's my choice, right? My choice, right? In the right angle triangle, one of the triplets is 3, 4 and 5, right? 3, 4 and 5, right? Okay, now A, B and C over here, right? Okay, and as well as B and D, I'm saying both the points are same. Can we say that? Why? Because AD is the altitude and B point is also the same, right? AD is the altitude of the triangle ABC, right? Isn't it? If AB plus AC is equal to P, okay, right? Right? So, okay, AC is your, over here is the, hypotenuse, right? Okay, so what we will do, we will change the naming convention, okay, right? So we will write it like A, B and C. We can do that, right? We can do that, no? Isn't it? Okay, so this is your C and this is your D, okay? AB is how much? AB is 5 plus AC. AC is how much? Okay, AC is 3 is equal to P, which means P is equal to 8. AB minus AC. So AB is 5 minus AC is 3, which means Q is equal to 2, right? And now BD minus CD, right? BD minus CD, right? Okay, there is no difference between BD and CD. CD is 0, right? Okay, so which means BD is equal to 4, right? CD are the same point, so there is no distance between them, right? Okay, so BD minus CD is as good as saying BD means 4 minus CD is 0 is 4, which is R, right? Okay, P value is 8, Q value is 2, R value is 4. Then what is the value of BC is what they are asking. BC means you need to reach 4. Let's check. Option A says QR by P. Okay, QR by P, right? This is giving you 1. Where do you want to reach? We want to reach 4. 4 needs to come as an answer, okay? So which means A is not your answer, right? PR by Q, okay? P is how much? 2, R is 4, P is 8, right? PR, and this particular value is 2, right? PR by Q, right? Isn't it? So this one gone 4, 4, right? PR by Q 16. No, we want to reach 4, right? So this is also not your answer. PQ by R, okay? PQ by R. P value is 8, Q value is 2, R value is 4, right? 4, 4, 2, you got over here 4 as the answer. P plus Q minus R, okay? P plus Q minus R means 10 minus 4 is 6. By only following this answer alone, we reach 4 as an option, okay? Right? And look, this is mathematics and you have to be slightly shrewd, okay? Mathematicians were shrewd, okay, right? Okay, they were lazy people, they were shrewd people. That's why they wanted to find some shortcut, okay, to their solution. Okay, they found out solution, and same are like, if you are doing coding and all that stuff, okay, right? So you have to be lazy, you have to be shrewd, you have to be smart and find out solution, okay? Nowhere they have mentioned that no, this triangle is a scalene triangle. I assume CD has the same point, PQR, right? Isn't it? Right? So a question which was looking very strange, right? It has turned out to be not so strange, right? Okay, so this is what we have, okay? Now let's see at question number 62. Okay, this is also a very interesting question over here, right? Okay, this sum the sum of the height and radius of a right circular cylinder. How does a right circular cylinder look like? A right circular cylinder look like this, isn't it? Okay, the sum of the height plus radius of the right circular triangle is 21 is what they are saying, and the radius is less than the height. R is less than height. Okay, now can you, if you have practiced mathematics enough, if you have done or if you have been doing, don't you know, like generally radius height it happens to be 7, 14 or something like that. Let's check what happens if I'm assuming, right, radius is equal to 7. Why? Because 22 by 7 comes, no, right? So 7 needs to cut, right? And height is 14. My general assumption, I'm just shooting in the dark, right? See what happens. The curved surface area is how much? 2 pi r into h. This is the curved surface area, which means 44 into 14, 56, 6, 5, 56, right? This is 61, right? Which means, yes, indeed, height is 7 and radius is, sorry, height is 14 and this is 7. Okay. Now they have asked you what is the volume. Okay. So volume, you know, you find out what is the volume. Pi r square h. Okay. Pi into r square into h is how much? 14. This one gone, right? This is how much? 7 into 4, right? 154 into 14, right? Now don't calculate, right? Over here, 4 into 4 is 16, right? 4 into 4 is 16. Unit digit is 6, so which means 62. D is the answer, folks. This is how you have to tackle this. Okay, right? This is how you are going to tackle this sums, folks. Okay, right? So now we'll move to the next question. ABC is a triangle, right? Right angled at B. P is the midpoint of AB and Q is the midpoint of BC. Consider the following, right? Okay, you have a ABC, right? I'm doing question number 63. ABC is a right angle, right? ABC is a right angle, A over here and B over here and C over here. ABC is a right angle at B. P is the midpoint of AB. P over here is the midpoint of AB and Q is the midpoint of BC, right? Q is the midpoint of BC, right? Consider AQ, right? AQ over here they have said AQ is equal to root under 73 and CP, right? CP, this is your CP, they have given root under 52, right? Which of the following are required to determine the area of the triangle? Okay, which one of these are required to find out the area of the triangle is what they are saying. Okay, now if I'm saying AP is equal to x, right, and BC is equal to y, right? Okay, so which means AC is equal to root under x square plus y square, right? Isn't it? This is one stuff, right? And now if I have to look at this particular triangle BPC, right, PBC, right, in triangle PBC, you know, they have already given P is the midpoint, right? Okay, so which means PC is equal to root under x by 2 whole square plus y square. This is in your triangle PBC, right? And if we have to look at the triangle ABQ, right, ABQ, if you have to look at the triangle ABQ, right, then in that case AQ value, they have already given PC or CP is equal to root under 52, right? AQ is equal to what? Root under x square plus y by 2 whole square, and they have also given the values of this, which is root under 72, right? Now you have two equations over here, right? Now this particular value is x square by 2 plus y square, x square by 2 plus y square is equal to 52, and over here is x square plus y square by 2 is equal to 72. You have two equations, two variables. Will you be able to find out x and y? If we find out the x and y, can we find out the area? So what is required in this case? Question number 53. We need both of these answers. Okay, right? We can find out the answer to this particular question if we do it this way. Right? Okay. Now the length, breadth and height of the cuboid are the consecutive integers. Okay, right? Length, breadth and height of a cuboid are consecutive integers. Right, this is what they are saying. Right, they are consecutive integers. If the volume is 336, right? If the volume is 336, right? Okay, then what is the total surface area? Tell me, what is the total surface area in that case? Yeah. What is the total surface area, right? Okay. Now, if they are consecutive numbers, it could be 3, 4, 5. 5 into 4 is 20 into 3. No, it's not working out. Okay. How about 11, 12, 13? Right? 11, 12, 13. Right? It will be a big number. No? It will be a big number. So, we cannot think of this. Okay. Let's say 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7 into 6. 42. Right? 42 into 50. Right? It is only 200 only. 6, 7, 8. How about 6, 7, 8? Right? 56. Right? 56 into 6. Right? 336. So, right, you have to think through it. So, 6, 7, 8 are the length, breadth and height of the cuboid. Right? Okay. Cuboid. So, now you have to find out the total surface area. 2 into LB. Right? 42 plus BH 56 plus 48. Okay. Yeah. Which means how much? 4, 4, 80, 90, 90 plus 60, 150 minus 4, 146. 146 into 2 is, yeah, 146 into 2. Right? Is how much? This particular value, folks. 64. Answer is B. Okay. The answer is not cannot be determined. It can be determined. We can determine it. Okay. Right? We can determine it, folks. Okay. So this is what is going to be the answer to this particular question. Okay. Now moving on to question number 65. Okay. The 11th last question for the day. Okay. Yeah. In a circle of radius, right, 14 centimeter, you have a circle over here. Right. You have a circle over here. Right. And the circle is having a radius of 14 centimeter. This is your O. Right. This is your O. Right. Okay. Yeah. In a circle of radius 14 centimeter, this is your 14 and this is your 14. APB is the A, B and over here your midpoint P. APB is a shorter arc and P is the midpoint of the arc. Let C be the midpoint of the chord AB. Right. Now this is your chord AB and the midpoint over here is C. Right. Okay. Right. Right. Let C be the midpoint of the chord AB. PC, this particular value PC over here, it will go through midpoint only. PC is equal to 7 centimeter. Right. If PC is equal to 7 centimeter, what is the length of AP is what they are asking. Okay. Length of AP is what they are asking, folks. Right. Okay. Right. Right. Isn't it? Right. So now let's look at this particular stuff over here. Right. Okay. AB is your chord. Okay. In a circle of 14 centimeter. Right. Okay. So you know one thing over here is OP is equal to 14. Why? Because it's a radius. Okay. CP is equal to 7, which means OC is equal to OP is 14 minus CP is 7, which means 7, right? Okay. OC value is 7, right? Now, OC value is 7, right? Which means now this particular value over here, this particular value over here is your what? Okay. Right? Is a 90 degree, right? So if I have to draw this triangle over here, O, C and A, right? This particular value is 14 and this particular value is 7, right? So which means AC value is how much, right? Root under 14 square minus 7 square, A plus B into A minus B, right? Which means 21 into 7, right? 21 into 7, right? Which means 3 into 7 into 7, right? Which means 7 root 3, right? Now we'll draw one more triangle over here. Now if you draw one more triangle somewhere over here, right? Okay. Now this particular value is A, this particular value is P, and this particular value is C. This particular value is 7 root 3 and this particular value is 7. Okay. So AP, in a way, AP is your what? Okay, is your hypotenuse. If AP is your hypotenuse, then what is this particular value? 7 root 3 whole square plus 7 square, which means 49 into 3. 49 into 3 is 50 into 3. 150 minus 3 is 147 plus 49, right? 147 plus 49 is 200 minus 4 is 196, right? So root under 196 is how much? Root under 196 is how much? 14. Okay, right? That is one way of solving. Okay. Now the smart way of solving this question is what? You realize that OB, right? OB, PB, and this is nothing but a rhombus. Okay, right? It's a rhombus, folks. Right? Why? Because they are all cutting each other at 90 degree, right? And the diagonals are also being bisected. So simply this particular value will be equal to this particular value. Okay. If you know this, then you won't even have to solve for this. Okay. Right? So we'll move to the next question. Question number 66 in that case. Yeah. The 10th last question for the day. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So who and all are there? Yeah. Yep. Can you please drop a message? What's up is happening here? Yep. Okay. So now should we move to the next question? Question number 66 in that case. Right? We'll move to question number 66. Two poles of height 10 meter and 15 meter. Okay. Two poles of height 10 meter and 15 meters. Right? Okay. So you are having two poles of height 10 meters and 15 meters over here, right? Okay, 10 meters and 15 meters are 25 meters apart. Okay, right? Then what is the height of the point of intersection? Okay, what is the height of the point of intersection of the lines joining the tip of each pole, right? Let's say this is the tip. Okay, tip of each pole, right? Okay, to the foot of the other pole, right? This is what the question is. Okay, now one thing is pretty much clear over here, O, A, B, and over here C and D. One thing is pretty much clear that, right, triangle OAB is similar to triangle OCD, right? Simple. This you have known since your childhood, isn't it? Right? This particular thing you have known this since your childhood, isn't it? Yep. Okay. So now they are asking what is the value of this particular line. Okay, which means OE is what they are asking. Okay, right? Okay, OE is what they are asking, right? Okay. Now if you look at the triangle if you look at the triangle CBD, okay, CBD, in CBD, in CBD, right, okay, in CBD, this triangle, right, BOE is also similar to BDC, right? Why they are similar? Because two of the angles are same, right? Isn't it? Now, if this is 10 and this is 15, which means BO is in the ratio of 2x and over here 3x, right? This is in the ratio of 2 is to 3, right? Isn't it? Okay. Similarly, if you draw, if you simply think of this particular stuff from this side also, this is also in the ratio of 3x is to 2x, right? Okay. Which means this particular value, which means, okay, this particular value over here is going to be 10 and this particular value is going to be 15, right? Isn't it? Right? 10 and 15, isn't it? Right? So now what we have to do, we have to think of the triangle, I am saying over here E, okay, COE and AB, okay, right? So triangle COE is similar to triangle CAB, okay, which means CO by CA is equal to OE by AB is equal to CE by CB, okay. What is the value, do we know? CO value we don't know, 3x divided by CA, where is CA? CA value is 5x, okay. OE value, where is OE value? This is what we have to find out, okay, divided by AB, sorry, AB is 10, right? Okay, and this particular value over here CE, where is CE? CE is 15 divided by CB is 25, okay, right? So if we can delete this particular stuff over here, right, so which means OE is equal to 10 into 15 divided by 25. This is 5 times, 2 times, this one gone 3 times, which means 6 is the answer, okay. Similarity, simple similarity rule of the triangle, okay, simple similarity rule of triangle, okay, okay. If you know this, how to do this, so it is not difficult, it is honestly not difficult, okay, right? But the question is if you are really trying to do this or not, okay. All right, we'll move to the next question. ABC is a triangle right angled at B, okay. Yeah. Yeah. ABC is a triangle right angled at B. Further, A plus B exceeds AC by 10 units, isn't it? Okay. Right? If the perimeter of the triangle is 60 units, okay, which means the sum of your, right, the sides are 60 units, then what is the area of the triangle is what they are asking, okay, right? Yeah. Yeah. How are you guys going to solve this? Tell me. Okay. So ABC is a triangle right angled at B, okay. So this is your ABC. is a triangle right angled at B. Okay, the sum of AB plus BC exceeds 10 units. Okay, so classical one we can find 3, 4, 5, right? 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? But the sum is how much? Okay, then we can assume how much? A different one. Okay, if you do 5 times means 15, 20, 25. Yeah, right. If you do 5 times means 15, 20, 25, isn't it? 3, 4, 5. 5 times means this one. 2, 4 and 5, 60. This is, yeah, this is one is correct. Okay, so what is the area? Half into base into height. Okay, the area is how much? 150 square units, folks. Okay, now we'll move to the next question. Two poles are situated 24 meter apart. Okay, two poles are situated 24 meter apart. Okay, if and their heights differ by 10 meters. Okay, this is their height. Okay, their height differs by 10 meters. Okay, if the height differs by 10 meters means this particular height is 10 meter, isn't it? Okay, which means this particular is 24 meters. Now what is the distance between their tips? Okay, the distance between their tips will be how much? 10, 24, which means 2 into 5, 2 into 12, and over here 2 into 13, 5, 12, 13, right? Pythagoras triplet, right? Easy. Easy, right? Let XYZ be the midpoints of the side BC, CA and AB of a triangle ABC. Okay. You have a triangle ABC. Okay, ABC, XYZ, BC, CA, AB. Okay, let XYZ be the midpoints of the side BC, AC and AB, AC or CA, right, of the triangle respectively. Consider the following: the quadrilateral AZ, AZXY is a parallelogram. Yes, it's a parallelogram, right? This is the property, right? Okay, midpoint theorem, right? The midpoint theorem says what? XY is parallel to AB and also half of it, right? Okay, XY is parallel to AB and also half of it. Similarly, over here, your XZ is parallel to AC and half of it, right? So yes, this is correct. The area of quadrilateral AZXY is half of the area of triangle ABC. Yes, which is also correct. Okay, right? Because essentially over here you have 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 smaller triangles. Okay, and each of these will have similar area, right? So in these two shaded areas will give you 2 out of 4, right? Easy. So this is also correct. So they are asking which of these statements are correct. So B and A and B, 1 and 2 both are correct. How about this one? Consider this, the following angles over here, right? How many of the above can be the exterior angle of a regular polygon? Okay. Now, if you know one particular point over here is that the sum of all the exterior angles of a regular polygon is always 360. Sorry, isn't it? If you know this point 360, it is going to be 360. The sum of all the exterior angle of a regular polygon is 360, right? Now, what are the numbers can divide 360 properly, right? 360 is divisible by 4, 360 divisible by 5, 360 is divisible by 6. Is it divisible by 8? Is it divisible by 8? No, 360 is not divisible by 8. Okay. Yeah. Is it divisible by 8? Let me check. Okay, you guys are confusing. 4, 180, 290, 245. Yes, it is divisible by 8. Okay. So which means yes, all of these are possible. So how many of the above polygon can be the exterior angle of the regular polygon, then yes, that is possible. Okay, all four are possible. Okay, if it is not divisible completely, then it is not a regular polygon. Okay, you only have to keep in mind that the sum of exterior angle of any regular polygon is 360. Now let's look at this question. House-sitter question is this: in a triangle ABC, right? In a triangle ABC, A is 30 degree, AB is 7 centimeter, AC is 12 centimeter. What is area, right? You know the area of triangle half into AB, right? AB into AC into what? Sin theta or cos theta, right? Half AB sin theta, right? When you have a triangle like this, right? How do you do? Half into base, this is base and this is height, right? And then you do know sin 90, sin 90 value is 1. So you don't write it half base into height, you simply say, right? So sin 30 value is 1 by 2. 2, 2, 4, 3, right? So 21 centimeter is your answer. House-sitter question it is. Tell me, okay? Cutoff should have been more, right? House-sitter these questions are. But you have to study, right? You have to study and you have to study with all of your antennas up, right? You don't study with your antennas up. That's the problem, right? ABC is a triangle right angled at B. You see, right angled triangle, so many questions are there. Okay, right? ABC is a triangle right angled at B, right? Right? D is a point on AC such that BD is perpendicular to AC. If AB is equal to P, right, and BC is equal to root 3P, right, then they are asking what is the value of BD. Okay. Similarity rule, such an easy question, extremely easy question. What is the value of AC, right? AC value is root under P square plus 3P, isn't it? Right? 3P square, isn't it? The square of this particular value, which means root under 4P square, which means 2P, right? So AC value is 2P, right? One thing is certain over here, right? Okay. Now you know if BD is perpendicular, essentially what happens? This triangle is similar to this triangle and both of this triangle is also similar to the bigger triangle ABC, right? So how do we write that over here? Now A is a common angle. We say triangle A, common angle, D 90 degree angle, ADB is similar to the bigger one, okay, ABC. Now write down all the corresponding sides over here, right? AD by AB is equal to DB by BC is equal to AB by AC is what we have, right? Isn't it? Okay. Now AD value, where is AD? AD value you don't know. So no problem, write it down as it is. AB value is P, right? DB value is what we have to find out. DB by BC. BC value is root 3P and over here AB value is P, AC value is 2P, right? Now you have to just pick up this one. This is a classical one. Thousands of times you must have studied this, okay? 1000 times at least, okay? Right? So BD by root 3P, can we cancel P and P? Is equal to 1 by 2, right? Which means BD is equal to root 3P by 2. Root 3P by 2, folks. Okay, such a simple similarity type of question. Okay, if you are not understanding this, then right, that's a problem. Okay, now over here the difference between the interior and exterior angle of a regular polygon is 120. Okay, right? They are asking question number 73. The difference between the interior and exterior angle of a regular polygon is how much? 120. Okay, right? The difference between the interior and exterior angle of a regular polygon is 120 is what they are saying, right? Okay, so the sum of the interior and exterior angle will be 180 degree only, isn't it? Right? If the difference has to be 120, right? If the difference has to be 120, then, right, then what? Then will it be 180 and then the another one has to be 60? Isn't it? Then only the difference will be 180. The difference will be 120. But then the sum is not 180. 170, right? 170 plus 50, right? How much is that? Right? The sum is not 180. 160, right? 160 over here and plus over here, right? 40. If we do, then 200 only, right? So 150 plus 50, right? This is also 200 now, okay, right? So this is how much? 150 plus 30. If we do this, right, 150, if the interior angle is 130, you have to think through it, okay? If interior angle over here is 150 and exterior angle is 30, right? Okay, right? Then we can say, right, isn't it? Then we can say over here the difference is also 120 and the sum is also 180, right? So this is what we are looking at. The number of sides of the polygon is equal to how much? 360 divided by the exterior angle, which is over here 30. If you do that, you get 73. B as an answer. Easy, damn easy, damn easy. Okay, now this particular one, look at this. The angle theta is exactly 1/4 of its complementary angle. Okay, so theta is 1/4 means this angle is 1/4. So which means the angle that we are thinking about is 4 times of it, 48, 60, 72, 80. And what is the complementary of it? Complementary means the summation has to be 90, right? Complementary means what? Complementary means 90 degree. Summation has to be 90 degree. Supplementary means what? The summation has to be 180 degree, right? Okay. If an angle theta is exactly 1/4 of its complementary angle, okay, right? Okay, 1/4 of its complementary angle, right? An angle theta is, what is the value of angle theta? The angle theta is exactly 1/4 of its complementary angle, okay, right? And exactly 1/4 of its complementary angle, okay, right? Okay, so now complementary means over here what? 30, 10, 28, right? And over here how much? 42, okay? An angle theta is 1/4 of its complementary angle, okay, right? Okay, so the complementary angle for 48, okay, 1/4 of its complementary angle, okay, sorry, okay, so not this, okay, which means the summation of these two has to be 90, okay. Only in this case you see the summation is how much? 90. 74. C is the correct answer, folks. Easy, right? Easy, no? Right? If you do that, then only it's easy. If you don't do that, then it's not easy, okay? The sides of a triangle are 11, 60 and 61, okay? What is the area of the triangle formed by, joining the midpoints, okay? So now this is the triangle, right? 61, 60 and 11. This is a scalene triangle. Semi-perimeter is equal to 61 plus 60 plus 11 by 2, which means how much? 120, 130, 132, 132 by 2 is how much? 132 by 2, okay, is how much? 66, right? So now the area of this scalene triangle is equal to Heron's formula, S into S minus A. S minus A is 5. S minus B is how much? How much? 6. And over here how much? 55, right? So how much is this? 6 into 5. 5 into, no, 6 into 11 into 5 into 6 into 5 into 11, right? Okay, so you can take one of the 11 out, right, one of the 5 out and one of the 6 outs, right? Okay, so how much is this? 11 into 5 is 55, 55 into 6 is 330, okay, right, 330. Okay, now the area of this triangle is 330, right? Okay, the area of this given triangle is 330, right? Okay, now they are asking over here, what is the area of the triangle formed by joining the midpoints. Okay, what is the midpoint over here? This is the midpoint. Okay, the area of the triangle formed by joining the midpoints of the triangle is 1/4 of it. Okay, this is the standard results, folks. Okay, right, 1/4 of it. In this into 4, if you do, okay, you will get 330, which means 1/4 is 72.5. Now tell me honestly, was this tough? Okay, was this tough or easy? Okay, so today we were wanted to do this question number 51 to 75, right? We have done that, and you must have realized that it's not so difficult one, isn't it? Okay, right? Okay, so you have to solve these questions at your own and ensure that you do good in that. Okay, right? Thank you so much, Alvin, for joining over here. Okay, and with this we'll close. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll see to you in the next week. We have this question over here, right? Okay, and there are certain questions which are region statement based questions also we have, and that we'll do and we get cracking. Okay, yeah, the last few questions are based on statistics and stuff, so you'll make it happen. Okay, so bye bye, good night, see ya, thank you so much for joining.